Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy.
And I'm her daughter, Mickey.
And welcome to Kiddonomics. Yay! We are so happy to be back on Kiddonomics this week. We missed you guys last week, so I am hoping everybody's here joining us this week. So let's get started. Hang on. Let me share my screen before we get into our special guest today. And it's a great topic because it's something that I am really going to learn a lot about. So I'm really going to be learning as you guys are learning today, like for sure. Okay. All right. So welcome to Kiddonomics, everybody. We'd like to always welcome our new Kiddonomics kitties that have joined us today. We've had some sign up. So if this is your first time, if this is your first timer, please put in the chat box, it's your first time, and all the kids will welcome you in the chat box, okay? And then of course, if you are one of our returning kitties that's here week after week, welcome back. We're so excited you guys are back. So let's get started as to what Kiddonomics is all about. And let me just check the chat box and see what's going on. Hi, Akira, you're not late, we just started. So you are right on time. All right, let me just change this for everybody. Hey, Brielle. All right, hang on. Okay, all right, so what is Kiddonomics all about?
Yeah.
Sure.
Kiddonomics will help ages 8 plus.
Kids.
Will help kids ages 8 plus to develop develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path to have a
successful financial future. You wanted to read it.
Yes, I know.
All right, so that's what we want for everybody. That's what we want for you. That's what we want for you. That's what we want for everybody, right? So we want everybody to have a successful financial future, and financial literacy is what is going to help you get there. I'm just going to move our camera over because I feel like we're not centered. Okay. All right. So let's just get into some housekeeping items, and then I'll do roll call. Roll call. All right. Okay. So please remember that every Kiddonomics webinar is recorded, right? And we always upload all of our webinars to our Kiddonomics YouTube channel, which you can find all of our past videos. So if you've missed a Kiddonomics webinar, don't worry. You can always catch up on our Kiddonomics YouTube channel. And then, of course, this webinar will be posted by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So you'll be able to catch the replay back on our Kiddonomics YouTube channel, okay? And then, of course, we always like to keep a very safe, healthy, and happy community here on Kiddonomics. So we always want to make sure that you guys never share in the chat box anything of personal information, right? So we want to make sure that you never put in any phone numbers, email addresses, personal phone addresses, anything like that. Like I do roll call and I'll say, you know, which country are you joining us from today? And you guys always have some great places that you come from, especially in the in space. So we love that. But of course, I never want to see exactly where you live, okay? Because we always want to make sure that you guys are safe on Kiddonomics, okay? And what is there else? Did I miss anything else?
Yep.
What? No. So let's do roll call. It's time for
Oh, wait, yes, you did.
What did I do?
Not to give any email addresses.
I did. I said that. Yes. Somebody's not paying attention. All right, let's do roll call, everybody. Roll call. I would like to see where you guys are joining us from today. Some of you guys haven't logged on yet, so maybe I should do roll call a little bit later. But anyways, no, we're gonna do it right now. So in the chat box, please let me know which country you guys are joining us from today. Let me see who's going to participate today. And let me just see, Akira, can I go to the bathroom? Yes, Akira, you can always go to the bathroom. And Anaya says she's from Canada, Ontario. Micah says from Planet Vegeta. Where is that?
It's an anime.
Oh, it's anime?
It's Dragon Ball Z.
It's Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. All right, Micah, that's a good one. Akira, you're from Canada. Brielle, Canada. Who else? Where else are you guys going to join us from today? Mickey?
Let me see.
Micah did anime.
Free range.
Where?
Free range.
Free range?
Free range.
Can you say, huh?
Free range. Free range.
You rage?
Free
Yeah.
range.
Free rage? What is that? Is that anime?
No.
Okay.
It's on my blog.
Oh, it's okay. All right, cool. All right. So thank you everybody for participating in roll call. Did I miss somebody in roll call?
Yeah.
Who did I miss?
Me.
No, I got everybody. Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about our hot topic today because I am super excited to welcome back Mr. Joshua Finlay. Yay! We are going to be talking about leasing versus financing a car. So remember on the 15th of October, we talked all about what to do when you're purchasing your first car, which was a really important one because I know that you guys are kind of young right now, but you will get to the age where you're going to buy your first car. And I remember buying my first car when I was 19, and I wish I had this information when I was buying my first car, because it probably would have saved me a ton of money that I spent on my first car.
You should have got a Lamborghini.
Oh, I don't have money for Lamborghini. I had money for Acura Integra. That's what I had money for to go off to university. That was my first car. So I was super excited. So we're going to be on the car trend for this week and next week, because I think it's a really important topic, because it's one of your, it'd probably be one of your first big ticket items. And it's one that, you know, if you guys get the right information, you guys can make really informed decisions for the best car for you. Okay? So let's meet Mr. Joshua again. So Mr. Joshua, AKA Joshua Alexis of Richmond Hill, is a husband, a father of two, who has a passion for assisting people get into their dream vehicles at Lexus of Richmond Hill. Whether it is a new
or pre-owned vehicle, his people skills and excitement can always get the job done.
Yes, it can. And he has tons of excitement. So let's give a Kiddonomics round of applause for Mr. Joshua.
Yeah.
And then at the end of our webinar today, I'll share some of our exciting news on Kiddonomics. Let me stop the screen here. There we go. And wrap up. So hi, Mr. Joshua, how are you?
Hello. I'm good. Thank you for having me again. We are back. So again, shout out everybody who tuned in, I guess 2 weeks ago. I spoke about buying your first car, what to do when you're beginning your search, you know, getting your G1, just to kind of recap, getting your G2, going to a dealership, possibly trying to get a job, saving up your money to purchase your first car, and how to go about it. So today's topic is more on when you're buying a car, there's a couple things that you need to know. Let's just share my screen here. Oh, can you see my screen, right?
No, not yet.
Oh. Do I need to share it?
Yeah, at the green button down below.
So sorry.
That's okay. There we go.
Now we're sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so today is going to be more on understanding, because there's different ways to buy a car. So not just you see a car on the street and it has a for sale sign on it, and you walk up to it, you give somebody money, and you drive off with the car. Maybe back in the old days, I'm pretty sure, before we were born, before our parents were born, that was how you did it. In today's world, there's leasing a vehicle financing a vehicle or buying a car cash. Cash is something that rarely happens, and that's just being honest. Unless you're buying a really, you know, cheaper costing car, like something that's like $500 or something. But in today's world, when buying your car, more than likely 98% of the time, you're either going to lease it or finance it. So today's topic, financing versus leasing, leasing versus financing. And I'm going to explain what these are. So again, this is kind of just, I work at Lexus of Richmond Hill for my people here that are from Canada, from Ontario. It is a luxury dealership in Richmond Hill, Ontario. So I sell new cars or pre-owned. And what pre-owned is, it's an existing car somebody might have traded in. We buy it, the dealership, and then we resell it. Okay. Just gonna get through this one here. Some pictures of cars. Okay. The basics of leasing. So, I mean, maybe I should ask actually.
Yes.
Who knows what leasing a car is? Maybe if you in the chat box. Am I able to see the chat box?
Yeah, it's down below.
Let me see.
So it has like, or maybe yours is up top. I don't know.
Yeah, because
But it should be participants, chat. Do you see chat box, share screen, polls? Do you see that?
No. See, when I'm in mine, yeah, I mean, I guess you could just tell me.
Yeah.
If
Well,
everybody
so I'll ask kids, but I think if you put your cursor down to the very bottom, it may pop up for you. But let me ask the kids. So do you know what leasing is?
Yep.
Let's ask the kids.
Yeah, can anybody just give me any idea of what you think leasing a car means?
Does anybody know in our chat box what is leasing? Hold on.
Yep.
Let me just ask the question. Does anybody know what does the term leasing a car or vehicle mean? Does anybody know in the chat box?
I'm in the chat box.
Yes, you are. I know. Just asking but I'm just asking the question so that they can answer, and you too. Go ahead. What's the answer?
Okay, so when you're leasing your
You're on the right path.
When you're leasing,
I forgot.
Oh, you're almost there.
yeah,
When you're paying the value of the car,
you're paying. Well, yeah, you'll eventually pay the value of the car.
so you're paying like half.
Oh, you're making like, oh, okay. So
you're paying half, and then after you
pay the other half.
then you pay the other half.
So I think she's on the right path. Let's see what Micah says. You pay monthly payments for a car without paying the full price for it. For example, renting.
That's what I said.
Yes. I can see the chat now. So yes, you're actually both right, because you're renting the vehicle when you're leasing a car, and you have the option to pay the full amount at the end of your lease if you want to buy the car. So say you lease the car for 4 years. At the end of leasing it, so you're renting the car for 4 years, you can either return the car back to the dealership, or if you really like it, you can pay the rest of the car off. So you're both right. I'm just going to read here. So leasing is sort of like renting a car for a fixed period of time. So fixed period of time just could mean 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. Usually the maximum you would lease a car is for 5 years. And when I'm talking about leasing now, just so you understand, leasing is when you're buying a brand new car. You can finance a brand new car or finance a used car, but leasing is only for brand new. So just, I mean, I know this is going to be a few years from now, but it's like making a mental note that when you're going to lease a car, you're going to be buying it brand new. So when you lease a car, you're paying for the value of the car you use up during your term plus interest. What's left is known as the depreciated value of the vehicle. So again, you lease for 4 years, you can return it, or if at the end of the term, you can buy the car. Let me just go to the next one. So leasing versus buying a new car. So leasing versus financing, because buying is also financing. When you're financing, you're owning it. They are the same, but also different. Even though You see in the picture here, these two cars are identical. The methods to pay for them are very different. So how you choose to pay for your car is different. You can lease, you can buy it cash, or you can finance it. Understanding the differences will help you make the best decision for you. So question for Stacy, when you bought your first car, what did you do? Did you lease it, finance it, or did you buy it cash?
I financed it.
Okay.
And I wish I understood more what financing meant
At the time, yeah.
at the time that I bought the first car. But you had to have part of the down payment.
Yes, yes. So I was just curious. Okay, so you financed your first car. So here on the screen, buying a car versus leasing. So when I say buying, it's financing. So on the left is financing, on the right is leasing. So when you're financing a car, it requires more money up front and more money up front each month. So that's why I heard Stacy say you overpaid for your first car. You probably put down a big down payment that could have been out of your budget. Again, I don't know. And then your monthly payments were probably much higher than you would have liked, even though you most likely made those payments.
Yes.
If you had known the option of leasing, your payments probably would have been cut in half or a little bit less. So on the right side, leasing a car costs less money up front and each month. So you can afford, I mean, you don't always have to afford a more expensive car, but it's just so that it's making things more affordable for you. When you're financing, so I'm just kind of going back and forth. You can pay off your loan, which eliminates your monthly costs. Now, most people on a first car, you usually don't go for an expensive car on a first car. Usually that's later on in life. But you can pay off your loan, meaning if you have a huge lump sum of money, let's say you worked really hard and you had, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars and you want to just pay off the rest of your car, you can choose to do that instead of having monthly payments. And then on the right side, leasing, most times customers of mine are in the automotive business. When you lease, you usually are always going to keep leasing. On financing, you have the freedom. Yep.
Sorry, Mr. Joshua, can you tell us why is it then, if you do lease a car, you would tend to keep on leasing a car?
Yeah. So there's benefits when you're leasing a car. So at my dealership and a lot of other brands, it's called a loyalty rate. So once you make your first lease purchase, so if you purchase your first car, when you make your second purchase, so you return your car in 4 years, you get another one, almost every dealership will give you an automatic discount without even asking for one, because they consider you a loyal customer. And that's just the automotive business. So when you first lease your car, you come back in 4 years to get another car to lease, they're going to give you a rate reduction. They're going to give you a discount on your car. The numbers are always different. Every brand is different, but you're going to get a discount. It's kind of like keeping you in the cycle of leasing compared to financing. They may not see you for 10 years, 15 years once you finance a car. Because when you finance a car, just to understand the difference, you own that vehicle. When you're leasing, you're renting the vehicle. So most car companies want you to keep returning in the cycle, to keep leasing the car. So that's why more than likely you'll keep leasing the car. Did you have
Let's ask the kids. So the difference between financing a car, do you guys understand what the difference is between financing a car and versus leasing a car?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So leasing is when you're renting and you're paying less, and buying is when you're paying more. When you're paying more. You
could be paying more.
Well, you could be. Depends on
own it.
what car it is.
Yeah, but what's the benefit?
The benefit?
Yeah. What's the benefit to hi Ibby?
If you always lease, you'll make your car payments for life, and if you can pay off your auto loan, which eliminates a money cost.
You're just reading. So can anybody tell me what is the benefit of financing a car? You already talked. Let me ask the kids. Does anybody know what is the benefit of financing a car? I think maybe we've lost some of the kids. So, Mr. Joshua, could you tell us what
I'll-
is the benefit for financing the
Yeah,
cost?
in a nutshell, when you finance a car, you own it. When you lease a car, you're renting it. So let's put it into another perspective for the kids. So if you go to a store and you see a pair of shoes that you like, let's say a pair of nice Air Jordans, okay? And I know the audience here, based on what I saw last time, they know their stuff. Let's say you see a nice pair of Jordans and you love them. It's in the color you like, the black with the red and the white, the Jordan 1s. Do you want to own it or do you want to rent them? Do you want to have those shoes and do you want to have those shoes for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, maybe pass it on to your sibling, maybe collect it, but you might have to pay a little bit more. You own it. Yeah. Or pay a little bit less, you rent it. So you when you're renting it, you have to keep it in very good condition. You have to make sure you don't get it too dirty. You cannot damage the shoes. You cannot give it away to somebody else. If you give it away to somebody else, there's penalties. You're going to pay a lot of penalties. You can't lose it. If you lose it, you're paying the penalties, even if you lose it. So this is just to put it in perspective. Financing, you own. Leasing, you rent. So I guess in that way, which one would you rather do?
So Anaya says that she would rather own it.
Yeah.
What would you rather do?
Okay, so I think I want to do both, but I know I can only choose. But when you rent, costs less, but there's a good chance that you're gonna mess it up, and then that's just gonna be wasting your money. Because when you own it, you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to think about the risk of
Damaging the car?
damaging the.
So which one
shoe.
do you pick?
I own it because what's the
Okay.
point of renting it? And then after, if you damage it, you have to pay more than you own it. If you just own it, then you don't have to.
Okay.
It's
All
basically
right. So anybody else? Would you rather lease a car or own or finance the car to own
Oh,
it?
now we're talking about the shoe.
Well, same thing, yeah. Because whether it's the
Now
shoe
says
or the
you'd
car,
rather own it.
it's the same process.
Oh, Micah says he'd rather lease it.
See, Micah
Interesting.
could be onto something because when you lease it, you get to get a new one every 4 years. So 2022, you get a car. 2026, you're getting the brand new version to that car or shoe. Just
Gotcha.
So, and if you do own the shoe, what if your foot grows? Then what's the point?
So that's the
And you
thing.
don't want to give it away.
So then maybe you want to lease something because then you would get a new pair of shoes in a couple
Exactly,
years.
but then you have to try
Yes.
to not.
And you know what's funny? So what she just said. Okay, so putting it into perspective on cars, I've had customers who have family grows. So let's say you have a small car, right? And then you have a child, and then you have another child, and then you have a third child. You now need to probably go into a van or you need to go into a SUV. When you own a car, financing it, you now have to try to sell your car. When you're leasing a car, you can just contact the dealership and say, hey, I need to return this car and get an SUV. They'll take it in, no problem. Even if it's before your 4-year term, you can exchange your car, praying it's in great condition, because you always have to factor in you don't have any dents, dings, scratches. You didn't destroy your vehicle. You get into a new van, so upgrading your vehicle. There's a lot of paperwork involved. Don't get me wrong. There's a few fees involved where you're basically now your monthly payment is not going to be the exact same. So you're now going to be paying for a much bigger car. Your payments may be a little bit higher. However, you lease the car, there's a lot less stress because you can just return the car, get into a nice, 7-seater, 6-seater van or SUV, drive off the lot, and you're still in another brand new lease, and then you're in a lease for 4 years in your van. So, how she just said, what if your foot grows? So what if your family grows? which this is good. I love the interaction.
Yeah, this is a good discussion.
So, pros of financing a vehicle. Couple things here. So, financing a vehicle, you're building equity. Every payment you make on your car puts you one step closer to owning it. Ownership. So long as you make your loan payments on time and in full, the car is yours. You have the option of lower insurance rates, which is good. And I feel like, you know, once you guys start owning cars, you'll know and understand a lot more about insurance. And there are some advantages to financing a car with a loan, including you're building equity on a car. You no longer have to pay once the loan payments are complete. So once you make all your payments off, you no longer have monthly payments. After your payments are complete, you can either sell your car, keep it, or trade it in after you've paid it off. And on financing, there's no limits to how many kilometers you can drive. So just so you understand, when you lease a car, you have kilometer restrictions. So even Stacy, so you know, if you were to lease a car right now, and let's say you do a lot of driving, you can only drive a particular amount of kilometers per year because the dealership wants you to keep that car in a very particular condition every single year. When you're
Do
financing,
you understand what that means? Do you understand what that means?
What means?
putting kilometers on your car.
Yes.
Oh,
Do you understand? Yeah. Does everybody understand what that means? The kilometer restrictions?
Like you'll have, for example, you'll have a contract and your contract will say per year you can only drive 12,000 kilometers or 16,000 kilometers or 20 or 24,000 kilometers. If you go over that, you
Yeah,
pay a
Mickey asked me
penalty.
question. She says, what if I pass that?
Yeah. So every dealership has a penalty fee where they'll charge you for extra kilometer usage. So if you're financing, you don't have any kilometer restrictions. You can just go ahead, drive the car. You can drive to Florida and back 5 times for the year. Nobody's going to bother you. If you're leasing a car, you're going to have penalty fees at the end when you return your car. And I've seen at my dealership sometimes up to $7,000 in penalty fees when they have to return the car. So they have to pay penalty just to return the car.
Everybody get that? So when you're leasing a car, if you go over your kilometers, then you are subject to penalties
Yes.
doing that, and that will cost you more money. Does everybody understand? Put that in the chat box. Let me know.
Say yes. Give me
Everybody
some thumbs up.
understands
So
Yes, Micah says yes.
nice. I love it. Pros of leasing a car. So there's pros and benefits to both. We've kind of already gone over it, which is great, but benefits of leasing, you have lower payments and you pay less tax. Leasing gets you in and out quicker for less money down and lower monthly fees. You're also covered by company warranties during the term of your lease. So most people do a 4-year lease. Most cars have a 4-year warranty. So to explain what that means, in case something goes wrong with your car, you drive a brand new car off the lot today and your computer in your car, you know, like most cars today have like a technology screen in your car. Let's say your car screen, something goes wrong with it, you're covered under your manufacturer's warranty. So what that means is you can return the car, they'll fix it, it costs you nothing. When you're financing a car, after 4 years, your warranty has expired. You own the car for 10 years. If anything goes wrong with that car, you have to pay for it out of your pocket. So you always want to drive a car that's covered under warranty, even if you're financing. So that's kind of what that means. And then more benefits of leasing. Shorter term means you're driving a new vehicle. So you can always get into the new 2022, 2026, 2030, 20, and so forth and so forth. And I wrote here driving luxury for less, but it doesn't always have to be luxury. You can be driving any brand you want, but you get to drive a new car, and you have options sooner than later when you're leasing a car, whereas compared to financing.
Does anybody have any questions about the pros of leasing a car? Micah, would you still lease a car? Let me know. Oh, Nikki has a question. Go ahead.
Okay, so what if you rented all of the cars, like all of the cars in the world?
Why would you do that?
Because you're so rich and you don't know what to spend your money on.
I mean,
You can only drive one car at a time, so I don't know why you would want to do that.
think about like celebrities, I guess. Like some celebrities will have like 8 cars, 9 cars, 10 cars. I don't know why could only drive one car. And it's probably very expensive too, because you're gonna still have to pay monthly fees. You're gonna have to still insure each one. So each vehicle has to have insurance. There's maintenance on each one, winter tires, summer tires, oil changes, wow, yeah, it'd be very expensive. So even if you had all the money in the world, I don't think it would be wise to lease all the cars in the world. But you can, but it wouldn't be wise. I wouldn't recommend, I would not advise it as a Kittynomics advisor. I would not advise it.
Second that motion.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it. But kind of to summarize the pros and cons of leasing and financing. So it would be great if everyone could buy a car with cash whenever they needed to purchase a car. However, very few people are able to purchase a car that way. If you can't purchase a car with cash, couple options. You can go without a car. And now this topic today is not talking about going without a car, but always keep in mind your budgeting. If it's not the right time for you to own a car, let's say, you have your finances in order, you're saving your money, but sometimes it just may not be the most cost efficient for you. You don't always need to get a car right away. There's still carpooling, the bus, Uber, taxis, bike riding, skateboarding, whatever you can do until you're ready for that financial commitment, because you're saving on gas, maintenance, loan payments. However, we're talking about leasing and financing. So when you're taking out a car loan, so leasing, financing, this means you have fees, you're applying for a loan. Only people with average to good credit are eligible for car loans at good rates. But it allows the buyer, so you at home, to own a vehicle after payments have been made. Leasing the car also means fees, but the upfront and monthly payments are smaller than a finance vehicle. After the payments have been made, the car goes back to the dealership. So for me, anytime I sell a car, you're in a contract for 2, 3, 4 years. In 2, 3, or 4 years, I'll see that customer again. They're either going to return the car or get into a new car. Does everybody understand that? Like you can return your car, you can get into a new one. Good. So
I had asked Micah a question if he would still decide to lease a car versus like financing a car. And I loved his answer. He said, yes, I have to be disciplined when I'm using it, because he understood all of the other cons that you had said.
That's good.
About leasing a car. So that's an awesome answer. Thanks, Micah.
Okay, so I'm going to be sharing on the screen. I'm going to walk you guys through buying a car, and I'm going to show you fees. I'm going to show you lease rates, interest rates, lease payment, finance payment, dealership fees. Let me just share my screen.
So please keep in mind that this is in Ontario, Canada. Okay.
Yes. So people watching. So I mean, I won't get into crazy detail because I know like if it's your first time seeing these numbers, but I just want you guys at home to kind of get an idea of what it's like. I'm going to walk you through a car buying experience. So this is where I work. This is on my back end. So as a salesman, I have access to this that a consumer will not have, and a consumer would be you guys at home. So let's just say we're going to shop for a new car today. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys and walk you through this, and we're picking a car. Let me just pick a car. Actually, you know what? Is there anybody in the chat that has or knows about Lexus and has a favorite Lexus by any chance? Only Lexus though, because I can only show you Lexus. I can't show any other brands.
I think one of the kids last week had said that they liked the drop top that you had showed.
Okay, we can show that. we could show that. So
Not
there's-
last week, the week before.
yeah, so it's called the LC 500. So I'm gonna walk you guys. Oh, it may not show me because it's probably not available. Hold on one second. LC 500. Can you see my? You can see my screen, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That one.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk you guys through. Let's say you were to buy this car right now, financing it versus leasing it. So we're gonna build this car. So this is it's called the Lexus LC 500 convertible. Now, let me show you guys the cash price. Buying this car cash, taxes in, $133.80. Oh, wow. 133,000. Wow. Caught me off guard. 842.85 cents. How many of you out there have 133,000? I mean, praying we all do one day. Let's all get there.
Michaela, you have 133,000?
Yep, I went to the bank this
So
week.
you see here on the screen, cash price is 102,700. Because remember, I told you we're going to show you all the fees that come in a dealership. So the cash price of this car is 102,000. So why is it $133,000? This is your taxes in price. So packages and options. These cars, every time you go into a new package, it costs you money. So the starting cost of this car is 102,000. Just to get into the convertible, it's going to cost you another $13,500. Now you see here it says freight, PDI, and levies, $2,245. Now you see here, freight, PDI, air tax, tire tax, OMBIC, etc., etc., etc. Boys and girls, parents, everybody out there watching. So these are the fees of the dealership. And this is every dealership, not just mine. Every dealership in North America has the exact same fees. These are government taxes. Our government gets excited when we make these type of purchases. So they charge taxes on everything. So you're paying what freight and PDI is. That is a tax the government charges just to bring the vehicle to the dealership from the manufacturer, because these cars are made in Japan. So just to bring it from Japan, you pay $2,245 that you don't have a choice. If you don't pay it, they will not bring the car to the dealership. So just everybody out there, whether it's a $500 car or a $102,000 car, there's always government fees and taxes that come. And then you see here on the bottom, subtotal. So this is before tax, $118,000.45. Then we add HST. And our kids in Kiddynomics, we know there's HST and taxes. We slap 13% on the price of the car. You now also have to pay $15,000 in taxes, which brings our total cost of this car to $133,000. Now, this is if you bought this car cash. Now let's talk about leasing or financing the same car. So if I was to lease this car, let me show you guys what it would cost you monthly. So on a monthly lease, 60 months, and your interest rate is 5.8%. Now you have your kilometer allowance. 20,000 kilometers you're allowed to drive per year. Down payment, we're going to put 0. Trade-in, we're just going to put 0. And as I mentioned earlier, loyalty rate. Remember, you asked what are the benefits of when you lease a car and you get to go into a new car. So let's just say, you see this price up here at $1,899. Let's say you're a loyal customer, Stacy, and you're returning your convertible and you want to get into a new one. We're going to slap the loyalty rate on. That price just automatically dropped to $1,786. You got an automatic savings just because you decided to lease again with us. Or let's say you said, you know what, Josh, I'm just going to return the lease and go with another brand. No problem. We take off the loyalty rate. The price just goes back to $1,899. So that's so that you understand. So now, on the same car, because I know in our chat box, some people want to finance, some people want to lease. Let's say we switch it to a finance on the exact same term. So now you're going to own the car monthly, 0 cash down, 0 trade-in, no loyalty rate. You see up here? So now we're financing. Your price every single month is $2,478.38 for you to finance this car. The reason your price is higher because you're paying off the total amount of the car. When you're leasing the car, you're paying off just 60 months of the car, so 5 years. You're not paying off the total price of the car. So when you're leasing, the price monthly costs less. You return the car. When you're financing, the price is extremely higher, but you own the car. You can keep this car for the rest of your life. And then as you see here, some other options, just so people at home, you have the option to, you can choose to pay bi-weekly. So bi-weekly means every other week. So let's say instead of making a monthly payment, you could pay every other week $876.59 or $1,899 every single month. Because some people prefer bi-weekly just because they may not want to see that amount of money come out of their bank all at once. So they do it every other week. And yeah, I mean, I hope this
awesome. That was amazing.
Yeah,
so
I hope this
ask
kind
the
of
kids.
gives it perspective.
Yeah, let's ask the kids. Would you rather then on a car like this, would you rather lease the car, pay for the car in cash if you ever have it, or finance the car? Which one would you do?
None.
You do none because you're not going to buy the car?
Exactly. Why would I waste my money on a car that can easily get damaged, then have to pay more for it to get it fixed?
To get it fixed.
I'd rather ride my bike all the way down to America than driving a car.
Okay, so Nikki went I'm not going to buy the car at all.
We're going to ask her that same question in about 10 years.
I love this. It's great because we can play back this video, and I'm going to kindly remind her to say, remember when you said you're going to ride your bike?
10 years, I want to see that same question asked.
Right?
Let's see what her
Awesome.
response is.
So let's ask the kids. Let me see. Would you guys, using this example that Mr. Joshua just showed us, would you lease the car, finance the car, or if you had the money, pay for it in cash? Who's going to answer? Who's going to answer? Brielle, let me see. Or Micah. Micah wanted to lease before. Would you continue to still lease the car?
I think they're typing.
They probably are typing. Yep, Micah says he would still lease the car. And Brielle says she doesn't know. And Anaya says
she wants to own it.
She wants to own it, so she would finance the car. I love it. We have like a split audience.
Honestly, there's no right or wrong.
No, there isn't. Yeah. It's what works best for you.
Yeah, it's always, and I tell my clients this, it's always what works best for you. Whatever is better for your financial situation, whatever is best for your family, you and your parents, you and your kids. Never feel pressured to lease because the person's telling you to, or finance because they're telling you, or buy cash. Always do what works best for you, depending on your financial situation. So if you have money saved up, if you want to have a car to own because you like, you know what, I'm going to have this car for the next 10 years, 15 years. Let me just buy it. Let me just finance it, make higher payments. I'm a good driver, safe driver, you know, by all means, go right ahead. If you're the type of person, you want the newest car, you want to have the latest, you know, color, you want to have the sunroof, you want to have the backup camera, then probably leasing is better for you. But there's no right or wrong. I just want everybody to know that.
Perfect. Brielle says that she thought about it and she says that, okay, own it, I think.
I love it. I love it.
Perfect.
I love that. I love that we have a lot of people who want to own it. I love the fact that like ownership is like, is in their minds. I didn't think like that till now in my 30s. That's good.
That's the benefit of financial literacy, right?
Yeah, ownership. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
Or you can just save your money, ride your bike all the way to America.
Or you can save your money and ride your bike all the way to
I'm
America.
just saying.
Yeah. I mean that's what I have for now for leasing and financing. I just want to leave it open for any further questions.
Well, that was amazing. We learned a lot. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. A big round of applause. Joshua, does anybody have any questions? Do you have any questions?
Let me ask my brain.
Let me ask my brain. Does anybody have any questions in the chat box?
He or she or brain she.
Any questions in the chat box? Let me know. Oops, sorry, that's. Oh, what happened? Okay, sorry, 1 second. I'm going to get rid of this. There we go. Okay, hang on 1 second. I think I lost everybody. Hang on. I know you're there. Sorry, there we go. Thank you again. Oh, if you had a question, I want to know. Oh, yeah, hang on. I'm going to answer that question. All right. Okay, so nobody has any questions for Mr. Joshua? No. All right, cool. Let's, Mr. Joshua, if you could stop sharing your screen, and then we're going to do our wrap up.
Oops. There we go.
At the bottom. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, and then we'll get to the kids' question. Okay, so final question of the night, because we ask this question on every Kiddonomics webinar, is what would happen if kids became more financially literate? And our answer is
real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world, because you guys are going to be so amazing and going to do whatever it is that you guys choose to do. And whatever it is, I know that it's going to be so impactful and help change our world for the better. So that's what we believe in, why kids should become financially literate, because with financial literacy, you guys can do anything that you want to do. It'll just help you guys get there. All right, so what do we call you guys? We call you guys our young financial literacy ambassadors. Why? Because you guys are our messengers and our representatives out there in the real world, right? You guys have learned so much on Kiddonomics, and then you share all this information with your friends and family and the community at large. And guess what? The more that you share with them, then the stronger you become, because knowledge is our
superpower.
All right, so last week, we missed Kiddonomics last week because I was having a new baby, and all the kids want to know, what did I have? So guesses first. Who thinks I had a boy? Put in the chat.
Can't tell ya.
And then who thinks I had a girl? Put in the chat. Ibby says boy, Anaya says boy, Brielle says boy.
Pretty sure because you said it last time.
I didn't. I didn't tell anybody what we were having. Boy. So everybody's saying boy, no girls, because I already have 2 girls. All right, so we had a new baby boy. We are super excited to welcome Mr. Keeson. That's his name. His name is Keeson. I think somebody gave a name of, I'll put in the chat how we spelled that. Caleb. But we were looking for a K name. So the dad, we came up with Keeson. So that's his name. He was born last Friday. So we are super excited to have our new bundle of joy in the house. And he is eating and sleeping very well. So
he sleeps a lot.
Yes, he does. He's a baby. So we are happy and over the moon to welcome Mr. Keeson. And then eventually in a few years to come, hopefully he'll be here on Kiddonomics with his sisters. So yay, he's like, woohoo.
He's finally happy to have his son.
Yeah, we have 2 girls, we have 2 sisters and a brother. So we're so happy about that. All right, thank you, Micah. Thank you, Gay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brielle. Thank you, guys.
Can I
so this is like Halloween weekend. And so we want to wish you guys a super, super Halloween weekend, whether or not you guys are going to spend it outside actually going trick-or-treating, depending on where you are, or you guys are going to do fun things in the house, like watching scary movies and, you know, maybe having a Halloween hunt in the house. Whatever you do, please make sure that it is safe and and try not to overeat on all of the candy that you guys will be getting and getting to a sugar coma, right? Because sugar headaches hurt.
I never had one before.
No, I have. This when you eat too much candy and it hurts your tummy. So try not to eat too much on Halloween night, okay?
If you guys have any chocolate, just give me some.
Yes, Mickey loves chocolate. Also, I do want to wish Mickey a early happy birthday because tomorrow is her birthday and we will be celebrating it tomorrow. But I do want to wish her an early happy birthday on Kittynomics. So happy birthday. She'll be turning
11.
yes, 11 on Kitty.
Finally.
She'll be turning 11. Ibby says, woohoo! And Anaya says, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Micah says, thank you, Mr. Joshua, Miss Stacy, and Mickey. Happy birthday, Mickey. Oh, that's so awesome, Anaya. Happy early birthday, says Brielle.
Thank you.
All right,
guys.
so guess what? Mickey says, thank you, guys. So next week, we will, I know I didn't update the schedule, but next week, we are going to continue on our car theme to wrap it all up, okay? And we're gonna talk about car insurance because when you start with wanting a car, you have to have the insurance to drive a car. You cannot drive a car in Canada without having insurance on the car. So it's a very, very vital piece in understanding your finances and your budget as to what you can afford, because car insurance is the other major component to owning a car, owning or leasing or whatever you do, whether you lease, you buy, you pay for it in cash. If you own a car, you have to have car insurance, okay? So we're going to be having a session about car insurance with Miss Karen Greer, who is Miss Insurance, and we are super happy to have her on for next week. And we are super happy to have Mr. Joshua on. He did 2 sessions back to back. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey,
Stop sharing my screen so we can see you there. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. You did an amazing job with, you know, telling us all about cars, how to finance cars. What does that look like? What do you need to know when you're buying your first car? I wish I had any of this information. I bought my first car.
Same.
So, well, now you have it when you buy your first car.
So funny.
Whenever that will be.
I went into what do you call it? Time machine.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Whenever you decide to buy your first car. Now you have all of this valuable information from Mr. Joshua. So thank you so much. You guys have an awesome weekend and we'll see you next week. So, bye.
Take care. Bye.